Hello again, it's me. In what segment I am now calling Tailoring Tales, it seems like a lot of you found my last video quite interesting, and it's something that I do. Alterations, repairs, tailoring is something that I have always kind of pushed and encouraged with my clients. But it's one of those things that happens behind the scenes, and I suppose this is giving you a little bit of a view into my process and what I get up to with my clients when I'm with them at their wardrobe. So I thought I would just talk through the latest lot of tailoring that I've just picked up from Iraj in Nottingham. He has got so much more stuff of mine at the moment, so I'm just going to keep these videos kind of like dropping so you can see and hear what I've been working on with my clients and with Iraj and what the results have been and how we've achieved them. I'll start by saying when I'm with my clients, this is something that I've always done, and I've always encouraged repairs, I've always encouraged tailoring and alterations to kind of get the perfect fit and to kind of get those pieces which potentially in your wardrobe you don't wear anymore because maybe they look a little tired or there is a little flaw in them, and so for so many of my clients they just don't know what the kind of possibilities are. They don't know so often that things can be fixed and they can be repaired and how they can be, and if it's going to achieve that kind of look that they want where it kind of feels really smart and really polished, or like so many clients how something fits, your size has changed over the years, and pieces that you once loved have kind of been pushed to the back of the wardrobe because they no longer look and feel as good as they once did. So when I'm with my clients and we're going through the wardrobe, this is something I really focus on. I say this a lot, but so often the kind of foundations of so many of my clients' outfits are already in the wardrobe, but we just need to kind of pull them out and make them look as good as possible, which is what I can do. And then with these pieces, they kind of are logged in my brain, and then when we go shopping and I'm kind of doing all my research, they're kind of there when I'm kind of pulling outfits. So a kind of minimal amount of new pieces are sometimes needed just to kind of freshen everything up and create entirely new outfits, which is kind of what I want to achieve with them. I've got a few pieces here that I'll talk through. The first thing I'll do is women's trousers. This is all from the same client. Pretty much all the same trousers. So often I find that people will, find something that they like, and then it's that kind of like sweeping thing when they buy it all in. They buy it in kind of every colour, which I'm not always a particular kind of like a fan of, to be honest with you. I kind of feel like you don't need something in every colour, you just need the best colours, and that doesn't mean all the colours. But what I've got here is 4 pairs of Reiss trousers. These are a classic Reiss. I worked at Reiss 12 years ago, and they've pretty much been kind of putting these trousers out since then. They are just a very reliable cut and shape. They're very comfortable. They have them in the kind of core colours every season, and then they kind of introduce those new seasonal colours every 6 months or so. So I'm quite used to seeing these in my client's wardrobe. I'll start with this one. They're all the same, like I said, but we've got 2 different sizes. We've got a size UK 10 and we've got a size UK 8. So we kind of needed to tweak them and kind of get them all so they fit perfectly. We often find with suit trousers, especially in women's wear, that they will have a little bit of elastine in them. So I don't know off the top of my head what this has got in, but I'm kind of imagining it's about 3%. 4%, I was close. And that basically is there just to kind of give it that extra added bit of comfort. When you're wearing something that is tailored like this and it's cut to be really neat on your body, if it's just got that little bit of stretch to it, it just means that when you're kind of moving around, you're doing your commute and you're sitting at your desk for the majority of the day, it doesn't really kind of feel like it's kind of pulling or digging into you. However, when that does happen and you want to kind of create the kind of illusion of a very kind of tailored garment, you can create that with stretch. And the light is really bright today, so let's see how far I need to go back. Something like this. Okay. So often with tailoring, where you want it to kind of feel really kind of slimming and really neat, you will find that it will be kind of quite flush to the body through the waist, down the seat, and then through the leg to the knee. So it's through this kind of part of your leg that you find that it is really kind of quite flush to the skin. What that does though, I'll come back in, is when you have working pockets, front and back, those pocket bags are really visible on the front of the leg because the fabric is pushing against them on the front and the back, and it kind of then immediately looks messy. So this kind of idea of something that kind of feels really kind of slick and really, really smart suddenly doesn't really work because you've got a big bulky pocket bag at the front on both legs here. So often those are kind of areas of a body that you might be a little bit more conscious of, front and back, and then suddenly you've just got this attention being drawn to them. Now, I understand that everybody loves a pocket. From a body language perspective, there's nothing better than seeing a client kind of walk out of the fitting room and just kind of like feel very at ease and very comfortable. And more often than not, they do that. They insinuate that by just immediately going into the pockets. But it's always kind of worth having that conversation. You know, you look great, you feel very relaxed in them. Do you want to keep the pocket bags looking the way they are, or would you prefer to kind of eliminate that bulk and really kind of streamline the trousers up? And I think often when it's pointed out, people go for the opposite, which is like, actually get rid of them. I would much rather that very kind of clean line down the outside of the trouser at the front and at the back once it's pointed out to them. If I'm really brutally honest with you, I don't know why a lot of these brands put in working pockets in the back of a trouser. I understand this kind of like vent jetted pocket, which is kind of sitting through the seat here, is a kind of a good detail to kind of break up that kind of excess of fabric through the back. But the need for an actual working pocket just isn't there. I mean, I never see clients, my female clients, come in and then kind of just like swing their kind of hands into the back of the trousers. It doesn't happen. But that detail is lovely and it kind of adds to the design of the trouser. So in this case, what I've done is Iraj has taken the pocket bags out at the back, kept the detail. The front of the trouser, the pocket bags have been removed from the inside, and then the pocket bag has been closed up. When you are trying trousers on, especially with a formal trouser where the kind of the pocket kind of like goes through on the diagonal like this, if it's tight, the trousers are tight across the seat, I don't know if this is a correct word for it, but it kind of ears, it kind of breaks and kind of like pulls out. Oh my goodness, the light's so bright this morning. And it kind of pulls out, and then again it immediately just kind of like breaks that kind of very kind of clean, like smart tailored line through the trouser. So you take the pocket bags out and then you will close this up so this sits really flush and it looks really smart. So what it's doing, postman, postman putting something through my door. What this does is kind of gives the illusion of a pocket, smartens it all up, but it just kind of leaves it looking a lot cleaner. So I've done this with all 4 pairs of trousers. So we've got a burgundy, this kind of like plummy colour, classic black, this kind of emerald green, and then this kind of clean, I don't know, Reese would probably call this like a pearl colour or something, but it's basically like a kind of, I don't know, a kind of like smoky cream colour, pearly colour, for all of them. With these light colours as well, those kind of pocket bags front and back are even more noticeable. You know, they're kind of the light, any kind of like break or kind of crease that you kind of see in the trouser just picks up even more because it's just going to reflect off it because it's a light colour. So it's with these kind of ones that I would always suggest that we kind of just clean everything out of it and just kind of leave it as kind of minimal and simple as possible in regard to the detail. That said, I do appreciate that people like a pocket, and I understand why people do like a pocket. So if we're going for that and we want to kind of create that very kind of like relaxed illusion, kind of a confident body language where a pocket can be used, you might, I'm going to kind of step back into this light. What you would do is look for a trouser where there is a slight pleat, like a box pleat in the front, which kind of means that this fabric will sit away from the body. It doesn't hug the seat area here and through the leg. It sits away so that there isn't that kind of press between the outside leg and the pocket itself. And then it's just more comfortable to kind of use the pockets that way. So that's what I would look for and advise if you're looking for a kind of working pocket within a trouser. It's light. There's a lot of trousers as well. I bought a couple of really beautiful pairs from Theory recently where the back seam here is slightly elasticated as well. And that is useful if the trouser is not a stretch fabric, it's not made in a stretch fabric, and you want something that feels quite comfortable. So just having like a light kind of elasticated back here means that if you are moving around in it quite a lot and you're sitting down in it and you're wearing it all day, it's on your commute, and it doesn't feel really restricting, which a tailored non-stretch fabric can do. With that detail there, a lot of people don't like that kind of look of the gather, but that can be altered as well. I don't know if I've got any trousers to show in another video, but if I have, I'll kind of show you how we've kind of smartened that kind of gathered waist up at the back, so it doesn't feel too bulky as well, because there is ways of working with that. So those are kind of trousers. I think we hem them as well in some cases, and I've shown you this before, just to kind of get that length perfectly just above your ankle on the slimmest part of your leg. For a lot of clients, that's kind of the perfect length at the moment, because they want to wear a flat shoe on their commute and potentially in the office as well. And if they are wanting to put a little bit of a heel on, that kind of line sits really perfectly with that trouser length. The other piece that I've got is a jumpsuit. This is kind of V Christmas vibes in this insane kind of coral red colour. It is vivid. And that's a lot to do with this kind of fabric, which really kind of like absorbs the light. It's quite incredible. I talk to my clients about jumpsuits a lot. It's a real kind of like Marmite for a lot of them. They kind of have either had kind of like bad experiences trying them on and they kind of feel really self-conscious in them, or they've kind of lucked out the first few times that they purchased one and it's fitted really well and they've understood how versatile, comfortable, useful they can be in your wardrobe. So everything through from work through to kind of evening is where we're kind of seeing jumpsuits kind of being purchased. This is obviously an occasion one. Like with dresses, nobody is that kind of like perfect size, let's say 12 top and 12 bottom. It's always going to need to be kind of tweaked and altered. But for some reason, people think that jumpsuits are going to be harder than you would alter a dress, which is just definitely not the case. Now with this instance, the trouser was great. It fitted really well. It's got a lovely kind of like drop through to the hem. But the waistband just did not sit quite in the right place. And because it's got this kind of prominent waistband feature, you really wanted to make sure it sat exactly into the waistline where it did. If it kind of dropped a little bit and it kind of went through your hip, it's kind of drawing attention to that kind of broader line, which is what this one was doing. So what we needed to do was shorten the kind of the body of the jumpsuit, but keep the waistband as it was and the trousers as they were. So what Iraj did was take off the top to this jumpsuit, shorten it, and then reattach it. So what it did was gave a cleaner line through this with no break or kind of like awkward drape in the wrong places. It meant that the waistband sat perfectly around the waistline, which is what you wanted it to do, but then still kind of kept this kind of amazing length and drape through the trousers. It's one of those things that you just need to have somebody confidently just kind of put some pins in it, tell you it's possible, and you've just got to kind of trust them that it is doable. And that's exactly kind of what we've done here. It's the kind of piece that you want to be able to kind of pull out of your wardrobe, put on, feel really confident in, and then walk out of the door. But if there's ever anything which is not 100% right with it, if you kind of put it on and you're kind of thinking, this doesn't feel flattering and I can't work out why, either because it's collapsing in the top or the waistband's in the wrong place, you're just not going to put it on. I think if you're going out on a night out and you're wanting to kind of wear something like that, you just need to kind of feel amazing in it, which is why it's always worth kind of having that conversation with people in store when you are talking to them about what the possibilities are with alterations. So that's all for Tailoring Tales right now. I'm picking up some more bits maybe later, but definitely next week. So I will jump back on and show you what I've got then. See you soon.